I've spent $500,000 to build this property that's now worth $1.25 million and can generate up to $5,000 a month. And I'm gonna tell you why I got the crazy idea to drop another $125,000 on rock, dirt, and plants that will get this place up to $1.75 million and making $20,000 a month. This is what $125,000 worth of rock and dirt looks like. Now it's hard to tell, but there's literally feet of additional gravel and topsoil all around the property. By the end of everything, we'll most likely have over 80 truckloads of material here. That's right, 80 of these. And I'm doing all this because I believe it will make me $500,000 and $20,000 a month in income by this summer. Now, I've done this before, and it was by focusing on 4 very different customers that I will tell you all about in a little bit. Now, this is what 7 acres looks like when you buy a piece of raw land with no utilities or plants. And over the course of 2 years where I built the main structure, this guy right here, I never paid much attention to the surrounding landscape at all, and that's a problem because I didn't consider the other ways of making money when you have land like this. So it's about time I spruced it up a little bit. Now, some people call it development. I lovingly refer to it as land hacking. Now, a couple months ago, this is what it looked like as I got going with the 4-container home project and the glam site down below. You can tell that the surrounding land hasn't changed very much other than me putting down some gravel for a parking and loading area. But the problem persists. The landscaping sucks, and it doesn't really help increase the value of the property at all or make any money. So here's the thing. I want to maximize my return on this property, and I can't do that by ignoring a major eyesore to my customers, which I said earlier is basically 4 different types of people. Stick around, I'll explain that a little more here in a little bit on how you optimize your own land hack. So I bought this property back in 2015, 2016 as raw land for $90,000. No utilities and completely overgrown with invasive plant species like Scotch broom and blackberry bushes, which have been the bane of my existence when it comes to this property.
They literally grow like every single year and they keep coming back. It's impossible to get rid of them.
So I put about $250,000 into the main structure, this bad boy right here, and another $130,000 into this guy and the glam site down below. All in, I'm right around $500,000 for this piece of property. Now, if you watched one of my last videos, I showed I just got the place appraised for around $1.2 to $1.25 million. Not a bad return, but my goal is to get the appraisal up to 1.75 and eventually $2 million and netting me $20,000 a month. And all of this dirt, rock, soil, and plants are gonna be key to that because I know I can rent out one door, this one right here, and make about $5,000 a month. Right now I'm closer to $3,500 to $4,000 average because I usually block off peak dates for family, construction, but this can produce somewhere between $55,000 to $60,000 a year if it was open full time. And once all the other doors are open, this place can produce $20,000 a month for about 5 to 6 months out of the year, which are our peak months. But we know when it comes to vacation rentals, people crave uniqueness, or better yet, a cool story. Or a different story. And that doesn't stop just inside the walls of the home. So I worked with a landscape architect who normally does stuff for large estates and wineries to come up with a master plan for this whole area to make it a place for people to view, experience, and engage with just as much as inside the home itself. But talking to appraisers who know the area well, I got some insight on how to further boost the value of this property. Additional square footage, and landscaping. But I'm not just talking about your typical landscaping of like boulders, lawns, and bark dust. I'm talking about income-producing landscaping, like a bamboo farm, a lavender field, and some other special features that are designed in a way where we can make money from the harvest as well as the beauty. And that's what's costing me $125,000. Land hacking where the land itself generates me money, builds equity, and creates a destination spot for travelers. Now, there are a couple more secret stuff I'll be doing out there to drive in more revenue, but you'll have to wait and see that. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and then you can watch the new update videos as they come out. Now, the reason why I'm willing to put so much into something that does not seem worthwhile on the surface, dirt and rock, is because if I want to maximize my returns, or in my case, multiple streams of income, I'm not just catering to one customer. I, or should I say we, actually have 4 different customers that we can create income from when optimizing profitability from any property. 1, short-term rental guests. 2, mid-term, long-term tenants. 3, banks and lenders, and then 4, future buyers and investors. The thing is that most people think about just one of these customers at a time, and it's mostly around resale value, which is honestly kind of boring, or creating a really unique space to get high occupancy and rental rates for short-term rental guests. But the keen investor and entrepreneur will cater to all 4. So they create a super unique experience, still have it desirable for long-term tenants if that case arises, maximize appraisable value for lenders, and keep their pool of future buyers and investors large. By doing this, it allows us to generate the high cash flows, build incredible equity that we can access at any time if we want to do a cash out refinance, do a HELOC, and we can even sell it to another buyer or investor and get top dollar for it. Now let's head outside and I can give you a quick tour of what I'm planning on doing with this $125,000 landscaping project.
All right, so let's go see a tour of what we're actually doing. You can actually see one of the bamboo groves right behind me. It's a lot of junk right there, but that's gonna be one big bamboo grove probably within the next year or two. So let's walk down here. We can start seeing what $125,000 worth of rock, gravel, dirt, and plants is gonna look like. This was about 10 or 12 truckloads worth of gravel and rock. And just over here to the right, we're gonna put in privacy screening so we can, as always, shield off from the neighbors. We do have 2 neighbors, so all of this is gonna get screened off because you guys know we want seclusion. We're gonna run electricity down here. We're gonna light up this really cool maple tree right here. This all gonna get planted in. All of this was not here before, or basically it was just all looked like this basically. That's what it looked like before. And so they carved this all out, moved all this dirt, and you can see that we actually have another bamboo grove right here, and eventually that will fill in, and then we'll continue down this hillside, and then all of this again will be privacy screening. And then this is a lot of boulders. They actually had to go through to the rock quarry and actually cut these boulders to fit here. They're not just random boulders, they actually cut it there, bring it here, they piece it together, and they start building retaining walls. We've got 3 big retaining walls going in. This is one of them. And then all of this is all new parking and access ways to the property. And this was actually really cool. I'll put a clip up right now of how they actually built this. And then you can see now we actually have an access way. If you guys been following the channel at all, this was just like this little tiny narrow muddy area. And now we've got actually, we can drive trucks through here. People can walk, I can get into the shop or the office. And then on the other side, you'll be able to see where the actual new rental is gonna be. Again, access ways around your property is really important. And so we're gonna put another retaining wall right here. And this is gonna be another way for trucks, equipment to get through to the back, because like I said, we're turning this into an income property. We're gonna have a lavender field in the back. So this is another probably 3 to 4 truckloads of gravel right here. And we're talking about feet of gravel. So this is probably a foot over here, over there. We've probably got another 1.5 to 2 feet of dirt and gravel. And then down here, if you guys remember my previous videos, this was all kind of weird and janky all over the place. And we got flattened it out. We're putting in irrigation, we're putting in electrical, and then eventually all of this wrapping around the whole house is gonna be a lavender field. And so we can use that to actually create the environment and the experience for folks. And at the same time, we can harvest it, we can sell it at local farmers markets, we can sell it to other neighbors through Neighborly or Nextdoor. There's a lot of stuff that we can do with creating income property through landscaping. And this right here behind me is gonna be where we're gonna create the really cool experience, because you can see right here is a shipping container home, and then it's gonna look out over the valley and the lake down below. And then right here outside the window, it's gonna be all bamboo groves, lavender field, hot tub, and then right there where my finger's pointing, boop, is gonna be an underground or in-ground fire pit lounge area. And so all of this is gonna be set up and designed in a way to really enhance the experience, but at the same time, maximize equity and appraisable value for the entire property as a whole. And that's how we are gonna get to that $1.75 million number at a minimum, hoping to actually hit up against that $2 million price point. And then there is the one current rental door. But at the end of all this, and when we're done with this project, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down there, I don't know if you guys see it, down there is gonna be the glam site, which will be door number 5. But yeah, that's essentially what $125,000 worth of gravel, dirt, and rock is gonna look like. Now, it also is gonna include some plants that we're gonna obviously have to put in, some pavers, and then some of the labor to put all this stuff in. But at the end of the day, that $125,000 investment is gonna be an investment. It's just not to make the place look pretty. It's meant to increase the value of the property to up to $500,000 in addition to the current 1.25 valuation. And then on top of that, be able to generate real income streams, real cash flows, because the property is so different, unique, and just a place that people want to spend time at. All right, back inside the office because it's freaking cold out here.
Now, there's a second part to all of this madness. In my land hacker program and with my students, I often talk about doing proof of concepts, where you do a trial of something first. Usually it's cheap or inexpensive and fast, which this honestly is not very, so maybe this is not the best example, but you use it to prove a concept, and if it's successful, you can replicate it on a larger or even a bigger scale. That's what all of this is going to be. And this is a great way to not only increase the value and income from this property, but also potentially do it somewhere else. Now, we still have quite a bit more work to do here on this property, but when we're done, I know it'll be worth it. And if you want to see the finished product, it should be here by spring. So get to subscribing and watch as I unfold this masterpiece or massive failure. Either way, I think it'll be worth seeing. Now, the next cohort for the Land Hacker program is set to open for enrollment in the upcoming weeks. So if you've been wanting to learn the blueprint on how to actually do this on your own or with your own piece of property, raw land, or project, and you want to work with me and other like minds, jump on the website, kaiandrew.com, it's my personal website, and get on the wait list. Students who go through the program also get the chance of partnering with me on a potential deal. We had a phenomenal first cohort. All those folks were amazing. They're off and running on their own projects now, and I hope to do the same for you if you want to enroll and be a part of the Land Hacker program 2.0, which is going to be launching very soon. Hope to see you in class. Bye.